Morse code is a system of communication developed by Samuel F. B. Morse that uses a series of dots and dashes to relay coded messages. Though it was originally devised as a way of communicating over telegraph lines, Morse code is still used today by amateur radio enthusiasts and is also useful for sending urgent distress signals in emergency situations. While learning Morse code isn't particularly difficult, it does require study and dedication like any other language. Once you've learned the meaning of the basic signals, you can begin writing and translating messages of your own. So, we are going to watch about the how to learn Morse code. Method 1. Familiarizing yourself with Morse code signals. First is learn the meaning of the basic signals. Morse code is comprised of two different signal units, dots and dashes. Your first objective will be learning to recognize these units as they appear in the text. Dots look like simple periods, whereas dashes are long horizontal lines similar to hyphens. Every character in the English language can be represented using these two signals. In the official terminology of Morse code, dots are called dots, pronounced with a short I sound and a silent T. Dashes are formally known as das, with a short a sound. Step 2. Look over the Morse code alphabet. Scan the Morse code alphabet and refer to it when attempting to decipher single characters. As you go through the alphabet, make a note of each individual letter or numeral, then recite its corresponding DIT-DA combination out loud. With time, you'll be able to recall bits of code reflexively based on both their sound and appearance. Though the Morse code alphabet is a helpful resource, most accomplished users recommend learning the system by its sounds rather than the way it's represented in the text. This greatly simplifies the process by getting rid of the extra step of referencing the way the signals look when written out. A downloadable reproduction of the Morse code alphabet can also be found at the bottom of this article. Remember that there are different Morse code alphabets. The American Morse code alphabet and the International Morse code alphabet have slight variations. The picture shown is the International Morse code alphabet. Step 3. Sound out each signal. Practice saying dots and das aloud in the correct rhythm. Dots make a short, single-syllable sound. Das are more drawn out and should last approximately 3 times as long as dots when pronounced. This fast and slow rhythm is how individual units are distinguished in Morse code. Pay attention to the spacing between words and letters. Each letter should be separated by a space equal to 1 dash, while complete words should be separated by the space of 7 dots. The more meticulous your spacing is, the more likely it is that your message will be understood. It is generally faster to learn Morse code by sound rather than sight since it allows you to forego the process of counting up dots and das. Step 4. Come up with clever word associations. Word association can be a valuable tool in helping you keep track of letters and numerals in Morse code. For instance, you could link the letter C in your memory to the word catastrophic, which begins with a C, contains the same number of syllables, and even has the same syllabic emphasis. Other examples include mailman for M and gingerbread for G. Devise your own word associations that will help link sequences of signals with their related sounds naturally in your mind. Jot down a few word associations in a notebook and study them while getting the hang of reciting each letter out loud. Finally, start forming basic words and letters. The simplest letters, to begin with, are the ones that are represented by a single DIT or DIT, for instance, makes the letter A, while one DA makes T. From there, you can move on to 2 dots, I, and 2 das, M, and so on. Solidify your knowledge of elementary characters before putting together more complex sequences. 2 and 3 letter words, me, equals, cat, equals, will be easiest to commit to memory when you're first getting a feel for the format. The sequence for the distress call, SOS, should be one of the first things you learn, as it could potentially save your life in an emergency situation. Another common distress call is CQD, which is also essential. Method 2. Practicing Morse code. First is listen to Morse code recordings. Look up recordings of Morse code messages that will give you a sense of how communication is carried out using the system. Pay attention to the pauses between each character as well as the characters themselves. If need be, slow the playback of the recording to make each signal easier to pick out. An extensive collection of Morse code recordings are available for listening practice in the archives of the American Radio Relay League. If you own a ham radio, tune into HF frequencies to get a taste of the real thing. Purchase practice recordings to receive instruction that's tailored to your comprehension level. Morse Code Teacher by Gordon West is a good place to start. Step 2. Copy children's books. Children's storybooks are full of terse, simple language that are perfect for practicing Morse code as a beginner. Go through the books page by page, translating the brief sentences into code. The system was designed to convey uncomplicated messages, so as a training exercise these types of books can come in handy. When you're just getting started, use books aimed at first-time readers, such as Fun with Dick and Jane. These books are known for their famously simple sentences, see spot run, spot, run, equals. This is a useful strategy for helping you meet speed goals. For instance, if you are attempting to copy 5 words per minute and there are about 10 words on each page, you should strive to complete each page in roughly 2 minutes. Step 3. Write to yourself in Morse code. End a study session by copying out a few important words and phrases, then jumble them up and translate them at the beginning of the next session. This will help reinforce your knowledge by allowing you to see and interpret the same characters repeatedly. Keep your vocabulary simple to make writing and reading messages more efficient. After you become more competent, keep a journal exclusively in Morse code. For regular practice, get in the habit of copying out your grocery list, the names of your loved ones, haikus, or other short messages. Finally, get help from a friend. If you know someone else who is making an effort to learn Morse code, the two of you can improve your skills together. Use code to greet one another, communicate ideas, or tell dirty jokes in secret. You're much more likely to learn if you have another person to keep you motivated and make things fun. Make a set of flashcards and have a friend or loved one quiz you. Send text messages in dots and dashes instead of your ordinary language. Method 3. Making use of other resources. First is download a Morse code training app. Nowadays, there are apps like Morse and DADIT available that can give you the chance to study. These apps are part visual recognition and part audio recording, providing a more integrated learning experience. They also allow you to interact directly with the push of a button using your device's haptic touch response, which is much more like the traditional way of tapping out Morse code messages. Using an app will enable you to practice at your own leisure at home or on the go. Combine app-based study with pen and paper practice to reinforce your code comprehension in all its different forms. Step 2. Attend a Morse code class. Many amateur radio operator clubs hold courses on Morse code. These courses are generally open to anyone, regardless of whether or not you are a ham radio enthusiast. In a traditional classroom setting, you'll have the benefit of organized lesson plans and one-on-one instruction that can greatly enhance your ability to learn. Instructors are qualified to present various methods that are effective for teaching different types of learners. Through classroom study, you may be granted access to helpful software and devices that would otherwise be hard to come by. Finally, invest in an audio learning course. If you can't find any classes in your area, another option is to study a set of guided practice tapes. Follow along with the recordings at your own speed and complete the included exercises and activities. As you learn, you'll graduate to more difficult content and your proficiency will grow. Keep a notepad and pencil handy to copy dots and dars as you hear them tapped out. Reviewing the visual component alongside the recordings that will make it easier to recognize Morse code messages in different forms. One advantage of audio lessons is that they can be replayed over and over again to cement critical concepts and help you learn at a comfortable pace. We hope it is useful to you. Please subscribe to our channel to upskill yourself.